Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. In today's episode, we're talking about the calf kick. And in the last few years, we saw a big rise of it in the UFC and MMA. So this video is going to break down why they have become so effective and why we're seeing people throw it more. Not only is it more effective to land, it's also safer on your foot to throw it.
Bazooka Joe Valtellini!
In today's episode, I'm going to talk about 4 different reasons why the calf kick has become so popular in MMA. But the big difference is the low kick. Why is it different than the low kick? And this is what this video is going to explain. The first one is distance control to throw the calf kick. It is slightly different than your low kick, which gives you that little bit of extra space to avoid counter punches. If I want to kick the quad, I need to be closer to my opponent. But if I'm attacking the calf, I can be a little bit further away. And because fighting is that game of inches, being 1 or 2 inches away from the counterpunch is going to allow me to hit and not get hit. So let's look at the example. If I'm going for the quad and I need to hit the leg, if the straight punch is out, it can just touch me, okay? So Troy's going to throw that same distance here, boom, I get hit. Now, if I throw that same kick but to the calf now, you can see I'm just a couple inches away from the shot. 1 to the calf, 2. I have to get a little bit closer to do damage that I'm looking for. All right, so when you do these low kicks, just remember, you have to decide which part of your foot or shin lands. Again, traditionally when you're attacking the quad, you want to go higher up on the shin because that's how you're going to hurt the leg more. So if I want to finish the leg, I have to get extra close and hit higher up on my shin. Usually the instep shots on the quad aren't going to do enough damage to stop your opponent, but they will do enough to stop the calf. So when I do attack the calf, I'm looking for more of my instep so I can hit a little bit more safer. If I want to get too close, that's more if I'm trying to use a sweep. But if I'm using a traditional calf kick of hitting and returning to my stance, it's enough damage to use the instep. The second reason is it's safer for you to throw it. When you throw your traditional low kick, you have to kick above the knee, which a lot of times when you do throw those hard low kicks, it gets blocked and hits your opponent's knee, and that's how you hurt your instep and break your foot. By going to the calf, you'll realize now it avoids the knee and it's safer for you to throw. If I'm going to go kick the leg, I have to go on top of the knee. Boom. But say now my opponent reacts and they slightly lift to block, what happens now is I'm hitting my instep and my foot on the knee. And that's how you break your foot in fights. It's usually someone getting a late check, and that's how you catch the instep. The small bones in the foot against the hard tibia breaks the foot. But now, if I'm attacking the calf, I don't have the knee in the way. So even if Troy does bring it up, I can still hit the leg underneath and still get access to the calf to do damage. So the only real way to block the calf kick is if I just turn my toes out quickly. And again, even if I lift up too high, it's okay. But for me throwing the low kick now, I don't have to worry about the knee, and now I can just go out relentlessly. And if he blocks, it's even worse for him because I can kick that leg right out. The third reason we're seeing more calf kicks in the UFC and MMA is that traditionally low kicks are not blocked. What happens now with the stances in MMA, people have bladed stances or they're just not used to the timing of low kicks from kickboxing. So it's a perfect opportunity with that bladed stance to attack your opponent's lead leg, and they're just not used to it and they're not conditioned to it. If you don't condition your calf or your quad to be able to take kicks, any kick is going to add up very quickly. So hit the unconditioned muscle is going to give you a better result. We see MMA guys do more boxing where they might have a slightly bladed stance. They're not used to the timing of the low kicks. So as a kickboxer or someone who knows low kicks, you can really utilize the low kick and the timing. So now when you look at the stance, you see more of that bladed stance. So now for Troy to have to block, he has to turn his toes completely the other way to block. So as soon as he sees someone in a bladed stance with their heel out, instantly I'm going to go attack that leg because it takes too long to block. And this is the stance you're going to see more when you fight in MMA. So no matter what, it's going to be really hard for him to block, and I'm just going to keep attacking the leg. But it also comes down to the timing you throw them. You always want to throw your calf kicks or your low kicks when your opponent can't block them. That's 1, as they step to punch, he puts the leg down, or if he exits, boom, I could attack the leg. So those are my traditional timings for low kicks and calf kicks in MMA. The fourth reason we're seeing a lot more calf kicks in the UFC is how you defend punches in MMA. When you traditionally in kickboxing or boxing defend punches, you can use your shell and stay close distance. But in MMA, we like to defend by pulling our head back, by evading punches because of the small glove. The moment I move my head back, my leg is a stationary target and it's perfect to hit. So the good calf kick comes on good timing as your opponent exits. Because of the small gloves, defense changes. When you see boxers and Troy throws a 1-2-3, a boxer is able to stand here and take punches and block, use the forearms, the shoulders. But with the small glove, it's very easy to slip through and get caught. So the way people defend, say Troy jabs, is they pull back to avoid the punches. So Troy throws a hard 1-2, I move back this way. And what happens now, my head avoids the punches, but it leaves my leg open for the low kick. And you can see even the quad, it's further back to the calf. So if Troy goes to throw it, even if I go to slip, yeah, see, I pull my leg back to avoid, but it's leaving my calf there at the same time. So again, even if Troy tries to slip punches or slip the low kick, no matter what's happening, if he slips punches, his head goes back. Leaves me with the calf. Say he wants to slip now and defend the low kick by slipping, even better. He slips and I could still attack the calf where hitting the quad would have been too difficult. The way I've been working the calf kick with my MMA fighters is using my traditional single pad drilling, but instead of holding it to the quad where we're used to, now we're gonna hold it a little bit lower. So now I have the target and it's not too difficult to hold. And what I like to do when holding this is I like to have that rear hand ready because it gauges the distance. So every so often, if Troy throws, I understand that that's the shot a lot of people counter the low kick with. So by waiting, they wait for the kick, I wait for the punch so I can see. So now I know the timing of things. So one, that gives you the location to hit, but the effectiveness of the calf kick comes in the timing. So what we have to do is either time the enter or the exit with the calf kick. So if I'm draw attacking, which means I'm pulling back to create space, I pull back. As soon as my opponent steps, I take that calf right away. So that's the timing on the enter. Okay, one more, I pull back, the step comes, I could attack. And you can see how safe I am out of range. The only danger would be if Troy follows up. But what I have to do at this point is change angles and use solid footwork. So that comes on to what you're gonna do after you land the low kick. But when someone steps and punches, they put their weight on the leg, perfect time to hit the calf. And the last timing I'm gonna show for today is when you attack someone on the exit. And I did a video on how Henry Cejudo used it to beat Dominic Cruz. He used the feint. So you want your opponent to react to my punches. He thinks I'm gonna punch. So by punching, you get that slip reaction that I'm looking for, and it leaves the leg there. So now when I want my exit, I'm either gonna punch, create a reaction, or a feint to get the exit. There you have it, the breakdown of why calf kicks have become so effective in the UFC and MMA. You have to train how to go to the calf. It's not usual to us. What happens is we always want to attack the leg. By changing this up, you're gonna see that you get a little bit more effectiveness in landing them. Not only do they land better, you're getting a bigger reaction from your opponent. Your opponent's used to taking kicks on the quad. They can sit there, take them, and walk through them. But you need your calves to generate power. You need your calves to be able to move in the octagon. So you take away that muscle, you take away that weapon, they can no longer punch or kick or come forward to attack you. You have a standing target, now's your time to go for the finish. So the perfect way to use a calf kick is early on in the fight, slow down the movement. Once the movement is slowed down, you have a bag, a standing target. That's for you to unload your power shots, get your finish. Hope you're enjoying the channel. Make sure you keep liking, subscribing, and sharing Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. And I want to make it easy for people to learn so it's less stressful and they can do martial arts. And I think everyone in life needs to have a little bit more martial arts. And that's a wrap, my friends. See you next week. Ooh, it's hot in here.
what am I gonna do with all this stuff? Jeez. I'm thirsty. If you guys are liking all the merch I'm wearing in the videos, head over to bazookashop.com and you can look as tough and as cool as I do. We got hats, we got sweaters, we got t-shirts, we got everything for your needs. bazookashop.com.